F, which moved from last, meeting about a discussion about graveling the event grounds parking lot. With that, we'll get. Okay, first thing on the agenda, June 10th, 2025, public hearing conditional use minutes. So are there any additions, changes, deletions? Nope. I entertain a motion to approve the June 10th public hearing conditional use minutes.
I make the motion to, accept the public hearing conditional use for June 10th.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstaining due to absence.
Lucky.
Approved. And then we have the June 10th city council meeting minutes. Are there any additions, deletions, changes?
No.
I would entertain a motion to approve the June 10th, 2025 city council meeting minutes.
I'll make the motion to approve the June 10th city council meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried, you abstain? Okay, reports. Rick's not here.
Very quickly, we took all 4 fire trucks out last Tuesday. They all pumped, knock on wood. Hopefully, for the moment, they're in good shape.
Okay. So for new business, first thing up is flea market schedule. So Memorial Day, I know this has been a discussion several times. We require the vendors to stay until 1 o'clock on Monday. Monday, it goes down here. Most of the vendors stayed. It has been recommended, and I kind of agree, that we advertise the flea market to be ending at 6 o'clock on Sunday. That way, those vendors that want to travel afterwards can go, or those can be out of here early Monday morning. It's just, that we'll be required, they have to stay until 6 p.m., they can't leave early, and there will be a penalty if they leave early on Sunday. So that's what I am recommending, so we can have discussion about it.
Was that for just the July 1st?
No, this is for the up at the ground.
Oh, okay.
This is just for the ground. This would just affect, Memorial Day and Labor Day.
I was up there on that Monday, and they were actually coming to the window, and there was nobody around asking, can we tear down, can we go, can we go, can we go? There just wasn't enough business to keep going.
And it's getting worse and worse.
So,
But you know, if they run out of product or emergencies, sometimes they leave early.
well, we dealt with several of that, but the main thing, we're getting ready to advertise Labor Day. So they want to push this out to the vendors. If that's what we want, if we're agreeable to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would entertain a motion to change the hours of the free market, the end of the free market to be on Sunday at 6 p.m. and require the vendors to stay until 6 p.m. on Sunday.
And this is for the grounds only?
Yeah, this is for that, I mean, it's just for city property. Yeah, the ground only.
I make the motion that, the city's 2 flea markets, end at 6 o'clock. They have to stay till 6 o'clock on Sundays, before they start carrying again. I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
And
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Okay. And also just information, I will pick up our check tomorrow from Baker Chamber. it's for around 15,500. And there was another check that was actually sent to them that was sent to for the city, so the amount came out to $15,850 that we'll be getting from the chamber. And then also M2 Construction Company has to reimburse the city for 4630 in dust abatement. Because we dust abated at the same time when Ed Stop was up here, and that was in their contract to put dust abatement on the roads that they were running the equipment on. So, I'm hoping next council meeting that we'll actually have Renee run the cost and what came in and what went out. So we have a better idea of how we ended up for Memorial Day. Okay, moving on, Mike Mason, water sewer hookup refund. He was in the process of buying some property. It turned out it was in the flood zone. His financing became a problem, and he, decided not to go forward with the purchase. He had already paid for his water and sewer hookup of $9,930, and he's asking for a refund since he's not gonna go forward with any property here in Sumter. Discussion?
Did we install?
No, we haven't done anything.
No, all this is the preliminary paperwork.
Yeah, he just was gonna buy it and have,
He came in, he's gonna buy it, and he jumped in and paid for his hookups, and then,
the deal fell through.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have a phone.
so. Do you have a motion to refund his hookup monies, and the city didn't do anything but take his application?
No, that's all that was done.
Yeah, no, we didn't do anything, other than take his application, used, and,
No, I'll make the motion to refund his, money for his water sewer hookup.
All second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Third?
Abstain due to personal relationship.
Okay. So we will let him know. We'll have to go down to gas one. Oh, museum, broken window. I had to talk to Scott. The museum window got broke, a couple of years ago. It had like, maybe a BB gun or go through. And it has now ran. The last couple of weeks, it's from top to bottom. So, the museum director asked if we would consider repairing it.
That covered under the insurance?
I don't know. I can check and see.
Yeah, I need to check on that, because that's gonna be expensive.
Yeah,
And
That big pane window up
Yeah.
front,
yeah,
the deductible's 1,000.
I bet you that one was more than that.
yeah, I can tell you this. So, yeah, we need to check on that, because if it's a BB hole, that's vandalism, so that should.
Right, but I mean, it's been there that way for.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, we kind of thought it was a BB hole.
It
when we
kinda
looked at
looks
it a
like
couple
it.
years ago.
And it's from the outside in.
That's worth the phone call,
Okay,
before we decide on what we're gonna do.
I'll call Carol and getting to know her well. Okay, so we'll table that until the next meeting.
Do you wanna say that you wanna call the,
As I said, I'm gonna call Carol.
you're gonna call the insurance, but did you wanna, if they say no, did you wanna vote on having it estimated?
Yeah, we can go ahead and get an estimate.
Okay, we're getting this. I think we've got an estimate. I'll kind of go through off and find it.
I'm
Okay.
not sure it's not good right now.
No.
Yeah. So we'll do that, and I will table this for the next meeting. Okay, sewer lid replacement. We've got 4 cement sewer lids that are crumbling, that need to be replaced. I talked to Tim and Jeff, they were in here, they were looking at prices. It seems that most of the lids are going to a hard plastic.
Right.
When we have plastic razor.
Yeah,
Daryl, do you know how to make that adjustment? Because the boys, they asked me about it, and I don't know how you go from concrete tank to putting the plastic riser in lid on.
The riser has to be larger than the rim of the existing lid, and then it fits right down on
It doesn't attach to the tank.
there. Not a cement tank. Unless you, use, some Vulcan or something and attach it, which you can. But the cement tanks should have a lip on them where the cement lid fits in.
Well, they
Comes
have,
up like.
the ones that are, the one that's crumbling is the riser. It's not necessarily in the tank, it's the riser itself that holds the lid.
Right.
And the lid.
Yeah, I've got the same issue with my tank,
Yeah. So I don't know,
but I was just gonna repair it myself with some mortar and concrete glue and just reform it, and it'll be good for another 20 years.
yeah, cause these ones that they're looking at, they're kind of like the one that I have, it's deteriorated and they don't have the lid no more.
Yeah,
Jeff stood on it the one time and the lid rolled like this and Jeff fell in the tank.
well,
That was a shitty deal.
if that's the case, you're gonna have to rebuild up the tank, the lip on the tank. It's either that or replace the tank, and it's a lot easier to rebuild that lip up.
Well, this is just the riser. The one with the lid that goes in the tank, that's fine. It's on the solid side where you got the riser.
Yeah,
So you just have to change the riser and you have to change the lid.
well, have to look at the tank, but usually my riser on that side is concrete where the lid is,
Right.
that's deteriorating, so.
That's how come you usually get concrete lids and concrete risers to put back in, because then you mortar them in.
Yeah.
You just take the old one, lift the old one out, put the new one in and then mortar it.
Right.
But I didn't know how you do it with plastic to concrete.
You have to use a Vulcan
So they
seal
should
lid,
go. Off the Tim and Jeff on that.
So-
but you're still gonna have to repair the
and,
lip
The
before
lip,
you
no
put the
matter
new
what.
riser.
yeah, no matter what,
No matter
that
what.
part has to be there.
Right,
Okay, I think what did they price the plastic one?
Yeah, it's $56.
$56 for a plastic one.
yeah,
So, and I don't know about this.
so you just need
The
to.
cement ones are about $2.
Yeah, oh, that's what Jeff said, they're about 200. So I think they were gonna order one just to see how it would work,
Yeah,
and then we can go from there.
Okay.
So I will have them get one, and then we'll go from there, and we'll report back, so I'll table this too.
yeah, and then, like I say, just use the concrete glue and mortar and mix that together and
Okay,
repair the tanks.
okay, so we'll wait and get one in and see, because we do have 4 of them to do. So $56 would be nicer than 200. Okay, E is the Stage Stop OLCC permit for 4th of July. They brought us in that, of course, last minute. So this is the same as they've had in the past. I looked there, I signed it. So if anybody have problems with that? No. Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve the special event license for the Stage Stop.
I make the motion to approve the special event license for the Stage Stop for 4th of July weekend.
I will second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
I understand.
You abstain? Okay. Okay, alleyways and zoning permits. Marcia?
Again, I need to let people know, citizens who come into the city, and please check with us when they get ready to build something, or if they bought a house, they should come in before they do something. To see about permits and where their pins are, and alleyways and all of that. Apparently, it doesn't get passed on during the sale, or people just think they can put, a deck on or put a fence up
Across an alleyway.
across an alleyway. And we do have somebody that moved into town and was not aware of any of this. They thought they could just do whatever and put a fence on their property all the way back across a 20-foot alleyway, attached it, because they don't know what pins are. But just let people know, you really do. Anytime you build something, please check with the city and get a zoning permit. If you have questions about your property, check with the city. It's a simple thing. And it will save you a lot of heartache down the road, because now that fence has to be moved and they put a lot of work into it.
Because sometimes the alleyways don't look like they're being used or that they are alleyways, but they are. So that's why we have plot maps and stuff. So again, that's what people need to check.
And it was reported that there is a tree in that alleyway that is needing quite badly too, so we need to check on
Okay, then zoning, lot 7,000 address assignment. Is that lot 7,000?
it. Yeah. When you look at the lots below and on top of it, it's just been proposed that we give this individual 330 climax. If in the event they ever wanted, because this is quite a big section, this lot 70 or 7,000 is quite a bit. They can divide it 12. So we have given it that address so that we have room. Below the bottom and the top, 7,000.
Yeah, 330 or 310.
310 is the lot below
Okay.
it. So if we give 330, that still gives me
Okay.
312, 314 on that side to
So this,
go.
this is 330. Okay. Anybody else have a question on that?
No.
Entertain a motion to sign lot 7,000, the address of 330 Climax.
I make that motion to assign 330 climax for lot 7,000.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Opposed? None. Mill Street Garage,
Oh, yeah.
okay, so this is on Mill Street?
Yeah. The map is there. I do believe it's next to, yeah, well, let's do park, is it next to that building? Yeah, it's on that side, let's do park building, yes. Kind of a funny.
Oh, is this the state park?
No, it's not the state park, it's next to it. I think it's
Greenhouse.
between John's old house and the state park. It's that little greenhouse that's right there.
Oh,
The
okay.
old greenhouse, yeah. And
Oh, okay.
it fits everything. And I do believe they took an old shed out of there already that was in there.
They
They're gonna replace it.
They removed the shed and the tree.
Yeah. So, no, it fits everything that we have in the ordinance.
Anybody else have any questions on this one?
Nope.
No, but I must say that during the survey of this property, it did bring up an issue. And that is that the state park building is not in compliance.
Okay, we'll have to deal with that.
That's wrong. But they're like right on the line.
They're right in the line.
Yeah.
What's an old building, I'm not surprised.
Well. At least the survey didn't go through the building. so-
Yeah.
Everything moves this way, by the way. I noticed that in this town, everything moves.
Okay, I entertain a motion to approve the,
The setbacks the same for the state as it is for the city?
Yeah,
no,
Okay.
it should be a 5-foot setback.
yeah, let's say.
Well, I didn't know because this is a garage, so it doesn't have to be set for that far off.
Well,
This one here, they got it set at 10, but that's, I just figured I'd ask the question.
if it's under 5 feet, it should have a firewall.
Any other questions? We're gonna entertain a motion to approve this zone permit for 20 by 30 garage on Mill Street.
I wanna make the motion to, for the garage permit for 445 Southwest Mill Street.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now we go to,
Oh,
what's this?
this is that bill for the one.
Okay, the next, we have a bill here, the reason we have it is because we didn't want to have to wait 3 weeks to pay this gentleman. Our city lawnmower died. And it hasn't had obviously any service done to it recently, and so we have a lot of repairs to it, so this is the bill for the lawnmower. They replaced a lot of things, belts, pulleys, bearings.
This a little riding mower?
Yeah,
Yeah.
How come it's not being serviced?
well, I just don't think it has been.
I think we got it secondhand,
We
what,
did.
4 years ago. I don't think anything's been done to it.
Yeah, but now
One
that
of
we,
those deals.
yeah, well, and also now that we know we have somebody, you know, close by that we can get it to, we can keep maybe service.
He does good work.
So we need to,
Well, I make a motion to, pay the bill, for $607.35.
But it looks like part of it was paid on credit card? Or is that,
He purchased all the stuff.
oh, that's his receipt?
Yes.
Yeah, that's his
This
receipt.
is
He
his
purchased all the
Okay,
parts.
those are his receipts.
those are his
Okay.
receipts for all the stuff he did here and the hours for labor and stuff, yeah.
Wow, it's not charging as much as the receipt are.
So anyway, did we have a motion to pay him? No motion?
Oh, they did.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Okay. We're definitely gonna pay him, okay, all in favor? Okay.
Who
am I choosing? I put Sherry, I heard. Okay. Now, we get to do budget documents. And since we're all busy, I get to read them, hey. Okay, this is, the budget committee had 2 meetings, and this is what Rob, what the budget committee moved forward for the budget for 25-26. So these are the documents that Rob prepared. It was advertised in the paper for 10 days for budget, so we're moving forward with this. So resolution number 440-25 is adopting the budget. Be it resolved that the city council of the city of Sumter hereby adopts the budget for fiscal year 25-26 in the total amount of $2,279,000 and $2,729,034. The budget is now on file at the city's business office located at 24 Mill Street. So, making appropriations, be it resolved that the amounts shown below are hereby appropriated for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025 for the following purposes. I am going to just do the totals. General fund admin department is $101,600. General fund fire department, $113,006. Water fund, $758,386. Of that, $500,000 is grant money. Water bonded debt, $46,591. That is a fixed bill that does not change. Flea market fund, $46,263. Street fund, $82,000. General fund parks department, $66,100. Sewer fund, $1,551,251. Of that, $1,015,500 is grant money. The cemetery reserve fund is $14,837. for the total of being $2 Any questions on this?
No.
No.
I entertain a motion to approve resolution number 440-25, adopting the budget.
I make a motion to adopt resolution 440-25, the budget for the 25-26 calendar year.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the next one is resolution 441-25. A resolution of the city of Sumter, Boise County, Oregon, approving participation in the state revenue sharing program. Whereas state revenue sharing law ORS 221-770 requires cities to pass an ordinance or resolution each year stating they elect to receive state revenue sharing money. And whereas the required hearings were held on June 2nd and June 25th, 2025, be it resolved that the city of Sumter elects to receive state revenues for fiscal year 2025 to 2026, passed and adopted by the City Council of the City of Sumter this 24th day of June 2025. Any other questions?
Make the motion to, adopt resolution 441-25.
We'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The last one is resolution 442-25, a resolution to impose and categorize taxes for fiscal year 2025. Be it resolved that the City of Sumter, the City Council of the City of Sumter, Oregon hereby imposes the taxes provided for in the adopted budget at the rate of 0.7987 per $1,000, basically 80 cents. $1,000 of assessed value for operations, and that these taxes are hereby imposed and categorized for the state tax year 2025-2026 upon the assessed value of all taxable property within the city. So, and then the general government limitation, general fund is $79.87 per $1,000. And excluded from the limitation is the Darrell bond debt payment, which is $44,800. Be it finally resolved that the budget officer file this resolution with the Baker County Clerk and the county assessor on or before July 15th, 2025. We don't get a lot of property tax money.
About what, 30,000 a year?
Yeah, I think it's total of 30.
That's all we get.
And it can't be changed at this point.
Is this the same rate as it was before?
It's the same rate it's been forever.
Mhm.
So do I have a motion to approve resolution 442-25?
I make the motion to pass resolution 442-25 for the, state taxes.
There's
I'll second that motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And there is copies of the budget, if anybody wants them up on the counter.
That is the current one.
The current budget.
Okay. And then again, we've had a lot of discussion about budget. I gotta remind everybody, this budget is tight. We have a lot of grant money that we're utilizing. If we didn't have the grant money, we wouldn't be doing a lot of things. But something has to change. Especially the street fund, which includes snow plowing, potholes, grading. A lot of that is, is killing our budget. We need to find some way. We are going to have to find some way to increase some fees or do something. So I mentioned it at the last meeting, I'm gonna mention it here. Rob's gonna be here next council meeting to explain how, what we're having a shortfall in and how some recommendations to fix it. And I want people to come and see if they have some reasonable suggestions to fix this, we have to generate more income in our general fund. Because that's what covers us for what I consider essential services, snow plowing, the roads, and stuff like this, and we don't, and fire department. So we don't want to lose these services, so we as a community have to figure out how we're gonna step up and help support these services. So, and he's gonna be here, it'll be a general council meeting, but we're gonna open it to the public during the meeting, so when we're ready to talk about this, and you need to participate, because the council is going to make a decision to do something. And when we make a decision and you haven't at least had your say, or been voiced anything, then you can't complain.
I think one of those, that final meeting was gonna be like at a 6 o'clock or a 7 o'clock meeting, so that people who work can come to it.
Yeah, well, that we're gonna do two.
To,
We're gonna do one in council, that we're gonna do a regular council meeting, and then we're gonna wait, I think, another couple of weeks and do another meeting at 6 p.m. for those that work or can't get here at 4 o'clock. So we're gonna give everybody an opportunity to show up and say something, so.
Yeah, when I say something.
Get some dates out there.
Well,
Get
we
some
don't,
dates out there.
we,
then.
we will, but I'm
Yeah.
just reminding
Yeah,
people.
and part of the issue with this is for too long, the city has been funding the general fund, the fire department, the road fund and all that stuff out of the water sewer fund. And technically, we're not supposed to be doing that stuff. So we need to separate our revenues and stuff where the money that's getting charged to people for water and sewer goes to water and sewer. The money that's going to the general fund pays for the roads, the fire department and everything else. And we can't keep taking money out of the water sewer fund to fund these other departments. It's not the way you run a government. And so that kind of, I'm trying to explain to people,
Mhm.
you know, that's the position that we're in. And if people don't want to do that and they want to continue funding everything out of water sewer fees, then water sewer rates have to go up. So we've got to, like Linda says, we've got to do something here to take care of these general fund items where it's not coming out of the water sewer fund. And
And this is an existing problem.
yeah, it's
I
been
mean,
going on for a long
It's been
time.
going on for a long time and now's the time to get it fixed.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stop any rumors right now. No, we're not saying we're gonna get rid of the fire department. No, we're not, I know we talk about things here and it goes out the door and it gets all turned around, The city still has money in their accounts. We're paying our bills in full every month. So it's just when you try to budget and look at what we need to do in the future, the money's short. So don't go out and twist this all over the place. Just come to the meetings and get the facts from us and from the accountant.
and we're not broke. I've heard that one.
Yeah.
We're like $90,000 in the hole. No, we're not broke. It's just everything keeps going up in the general fund, which takes care of a lot of stuff. We have no revenue. We have no way of making revenue to bring it in. We don't have a systems development charge or any of that.
Growth.
And so, and the growth, yeah, and we have an old system. We're having to replace pipes. We're having to do stuff. Everything else is costing money, but we're still stuck. So 10 years ago, you keep adding it up and you're kind of slowly eating away at your general fund, but we haven't brought any money in. So we have to come up with ways of bringing in revenue to the city that goes into the general fund.
Can I ask a question? I don't understand why was it the real estate, the property taxes haven't changed for
They got,
many years?
they've got
It's been
locked-
$30,000 for,
they've got locked in and we
They
can't.
got locked in, past council.
so there hasn't been any growth.
You can't.
So where does I'm paying more taxes now. Where does that go? Does it go to somebody else? It goes to somebody else.
They go to Baker.
Goes to the county.
It doesn't
No.
help Sumter at all.
No, we get very little.
Very little.
Our per thousand is so little, it's one of the lowest in the states. And so,
0.67.
It's 0.79.
0.62 or something.
Is that something that could be adjusted? I mean,
No,
yeah,
they have a Jarvis scan like California did. and it's been locked in for 25 or 30
Yeah.
years. It was locked in when we moved here,
Yeah.
and you can't adjust
So
it.
anyway, this is the problem, and this is what we're gonna discuss, and, you know, be part of the solution.
Yeah.
Don't be the ones out there just giving the rules, please. So, but yeah,
And
we'll get it posted.
one of the things too that a lot of people don't look at is what it's costing us to plow. Because back in the day, when people were only getting paid $5 to $10 an hour versus getting paid what they're getting paid today, price of fuel and everything is up. I mean, it's just, the expenses have gone up and we have no revenue. And it's one of those things where, it's not one of those things where you get to look at it and says, well, I don't wanna pay any more money on a monthly. It's either you pay it one way or another, however it comes out, and or you lose it, because the city does not have to plow. It's been, we have talked to legal counsel and this is what has been said. So you all need to take this to heart. You all need to really think about this, because something has to give. Because every year the city keeps going further and further and further and further. And it's like, it's a domino effect and it's stacking up, not knocking down.
Well, that's probably the same thing that's happened to almost the whole population of Sumter. I mean.
Yeah.
Well, it's not
You
just
know,
that.
my money, my dollars
It's
don't
not-
go as far as it went
Okay.
3 years
but
ago.
we're-
Well, the thing is though, is when the
So putting it on the back.
when the accountant sits up here and talks about it, and he says, we're not the only city that has this issue. So we're in the same ballpark, but like I'm saying, I really want to get the awareness out there that people need to start paying attention, they need to be coming to these meetings like Linda has said. We're actually gonna hold a special meeting like Linda has said. People, you need your input, because like I said, something's got to give, because the city can't go on like this for much longer.
It's a
I mean, we're
softball.
probably looking at 2 or 3 more years and this city's gonna be, cause it's just gonna get worse. It ain't gonna get any better if we don't do something.
Set some dates and start posting
Well,
it.
we're going to, so that, I'm
Yeah.
just putting that out there and we'll have the discussion with that. So, just reminding everybody, just kind of hammering everybody. Okay, moving on. I added this, we have gravel being donated. It's not gonna be pretty nice, it's more of a cobbly type gravel that we can put on the parking lot in the event grounds. Where it costs the city is to haul it, you know, how much is hauling be? You know what you do?
No,
No, we have to haul
I
it,
know it's about 125 pounds.
okay,
I think we can haul enough in a day.
okay. We have to haul it and then spread it ourselves and roll and rent a roller. But that would, the grounds up there need something done with that parking lot. Now it's rough, it's dusty, it's dirty, this would resolve all those problems. And, it would make it a decent parking lot and get rid of the dust.
And if this goes through, John, is it possible that the fire department can come up with a tender? And we can use a fire hose to water it, so we don't have to rent a water truck?
You asked Kurt about that. He is the chief.
Okay.
Oh, it's gosh.
So basically, the rock is being donated, we just have to pay for the haul of the roller.
Yeah,
And we want this done before Labor Day.
I sure like it because Memorial Day was pretty miserable and I don't see Labor Day gonna be any better.
So then, that's the discussion we need to have on a workshop too, is the continuing plowing, for, the winter season, because we are spending a lot of money on that too, and we need to make some cuts.
Yeah, I have that.
So we need to have a workshop on that.
So Daryl, any thoughts? Darren?
I think it's very generous of somebody to donate it. I don't know what the roller rental's not gonna be cheap.
No, but I mean, that's gonna be probably the biggest expense,
Mhm.
but otherwise, I don't know what the solution is for it. We were talking about putting chips down and stuff, but I think this is more of a permanent. This will be a permanent fix for the future.
It definitely needs it. I mean, for the volume of people that are up there and the number of days they're up there, to cut down that area's dust alone would be really beneficial to the vendors. Because it was miserable with the winds that we had this year, and it was coming from all directions. And so having the gravel there, I think would be very beneficial. And for walking on even too, you know, would help level out that ground. It's not the smoothest, flattest ground either.
Still gonna have to handle the rodents,
Well,
because they're gonna dig right up through it, and you know what they're
They ain't
gonna
gonna like this one, they won't get through.
this
be.
one.
Oh, they,
Okay,
They
well,
won't touch it.
I have.
Every place I put this rock down, they haven't dug through it yet.
Critters, so.
so any other discussion, council?
No,
Do I have a motion to go forward with this or not table it, or where are we at on this?
I'll make a motion to cover the expense of the roller and the transport of the donated rock for the event ground.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, beginning project, cool. I think it'll really help because I set up there all Memorial Day and the stuff was pretty bad, even though we estimated the roads, it didn't do much good.
Oh, it won't hurt.
Okay, old business. Matt, you're up.
So I just wanted to, repeat the accolades that keep coming in about the great job that Terry did grading the grounds. To the point, and you guys all know this, I'm sure that a donation for $500 came in as a result of how good it looks. So that's gonna put a pretty good shot in the arm in that project. So anyways, so next, I was up there today, staked out the major plot area, so that's ready to go. I can start, staking the other areas inside. Thanks to Richard Summerfield, who gave me a bunch of, wood that's coming from his house build. So those I made stakes out of that. Put a nail in each one, so they're all metal detectable, so.
Oh, that's good.
And then just an example, they'll have 4 minor plots in the major grounds, and so this will be sticking 2 feet above the ground, all 4 corners of each block, so.
Cool.
So I'm gonna hold off on these just because of putting those in because of some of the discussion we had in the last meeting about, Charlie mentioned about making the walking path roads. So what I did do in anticipation of that, instead of them being 10 feet wide, I increased them 12 feet because I gave Terry extra room for putting in the road. I put some stakes up and we've got more than enough space where the road was put in. So there's that. And then a lot of details that I'm looking forward to the workshop that we need to cover off. Like some trees, are an issue, but we can probably work around them. So that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Right?
And, so in that state, we need to schedule a workshop.
Oh, by the way, these are the redwood from our tank.
I was gonna ask you that.
awesome.
It looked like the redwood from the tank.
It is. So they'll last longer than pressure treated, I'm sure. I mean, these things have 60 to 70 years. That wood was a tank for, I think in the 60s, that tank was put up.
So do you have enough of the redwood? Cause I think there's a few boards still left.
God, do I ever.
Okay.
There are vineyards with redwood stakes over 100 years.
Yeah, but I mean, you have plenty of.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to set up a workshop to talk about some of the cemetery stuff, Matt, for some direction and stuff.
And it's not just all about the actual cemetery itself. This
Yes.
is about admitting, this is
Right.
about when there's a funeral, who does what, all that sort of stuff.
So just so we that, and then we've got several other, there was 3 things I was putting on the workshop. And unfortunately, I didn't write it down. So it'll come to me about 3 AM. So it'll probably be a workshop for at least a couple hours. Because we do have several things and we will post it when I get it all figured out. And I think Marcia wondered about the plowing for snowmobile too.
Mhm.
So what's everybody's schedule?
I didn't bring myself,
Okay.
just let me know when I can make it work.
Daryl, everybody else is around. Is one day better than another for workshop?
Doesn't matter to me.
Depends on what month you're talking.
I'm talking like, right away. What are we, oh, next week is, next week, 4th of July.
Well, we got October.
Right?
Well, sort of.
Sort of.
Not fast, getting close.
Well, what about, July 1st, a Tuesday? That's fine,
That's a-
right?
Yeah.
Is that council day?
No, this is not a council day. And we don't have a,
That works for me.
Zoom meeting, does that work for you?
And I will put together a PowerPoint presentation that will go through all the issues I can think of, and whatever you guys come up with, we'll add to it, so that we cover all the bases.
What time works?
Name it.
9:30?
Sure.
9:30?
Yeah.
Get everybody out of here, okay?
Unless you're feeding me lunch.
We can't do that anymore. There's a big talk about that too.
Oh, great.
Okay,
Go, they can't talk about much.
okay, so we'll do a workshop on July 1st at 9:30 and we'll get that posted for everybody so they know what's, gonna be on the agenda. Daryl, you got anything to add?
No.
Marcia?
I do.
Uh-huh.
I do, because it was brought up. And it's actually a good idea, and I don't know why we haven't done it. We need to get a handicap sign and make handicap parking for at least one, one space, for the city, and I suggest it's the first space right there in front of the,
Okay.
the vault,
Mhm.
and get a sign and make it strictly handicap parking.
Okay. We talked about that before.
Yeah, we just never got the sign, but I like to get a sign and stake and put it
How's
in.
that for quick action?
So, you know,
Don't wanna look for it again.
hopefully one of these days we'll get the grant so we can actually change the whole route, but, so you're gonna look into the handicap sign?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I'll get it going.
okay.
And if I can't get the sign right away, it's gonna be a piece of cardboard, but it'll work. Until we get it.
Okay,
Little blue and white spray paint stencil, you're good.
so Charlie, you got anything?
Oh,
No. And just, we did get something on the computer about the resilience grant. I have to go into Buy Oregon to look at, they've got a PO, so evidently they're giving us to buy the generator and stuff. But I haven't been able to get into Buy Oregon yet to.
Yeah, and I never, ever in my 2 years, ever got into that. We were talking earlier.
I will work on it, but yeah, but at least it looks like it's all going forward.
Good,
So what it'll do
that's
is
cool.
we'll have a backup generator at the community center. So if we did have a total power outage in long term, for those that needed to, air or what, we've got a backup for people. So. Okay, public comment. Yes. Mr. Armstrong.
The signs look great. We need the gravel, they're
Okay.
just in the dirt, we get a wind, they're gonna lean, but
Okay,
I just need gravel and I'll start, and we're working on locates again. Yes,
I ordered it, it should be here in the next couple of days, it could
All
be
right.
today, but tomorrow or Thursday.
okay, great, and I'll just take the John Deere, get a scoop, go over there and shovel it in,
glad it's going.
and, yep, we're
Thank
moving.
you. Cool. Anybody else? Okay,
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
all in favor?
Yep, 9 o'clock, I'll be down